I'm John Batchelor. Mary Kissel's with me, and we turn to New York. There are two major political offices in the state of New York. One is the governor, Governor Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, in his second term. This Albany mansion is a step to the White House. That is a traditional understanding of the Democratic Party. It's worked in the past. It could work in the future. I mention because we don't know who the nominee will be in 2016, 2020, 2024. The other office that is important is His Honor, the Mayor of New York, Mayor de Blasio. And I begin there. Ed Hayes, our friend and our commenter on Democratic matters, because Ed is a Democrat in New York State, and this is a one-party state, one-party city. As far as I know, it's as blue as it can get. Mayor de Blasio has, in the past, had difficulties with the NYPD. We know this from the tragedy last year, from the Garner case, from confrontations and hard words between the mayor and members of the NYPD. But here we are in March, it's springtime, and St. Patrick's Day. The St. Patrick's Day parade is a wonderful celebration. Everybody's excited. Everybody wears green. I don't have any Irish in me, but I know what to say, and I can go along with the day. Mary, you have Irish in you.
I do. I have a lot of Irish. I'm half Irish, the McCarthys.
Yeah, you enjoy St. Patrick's Day anywhere, but especially in New York. Isn't it beautifully done here?
It's beautifully done, yes.
And that's why we run into this story right away. Ed, we need help here. The mayor decided to ignore his invitation to St. Patrick's Day the second year in a row. Last year, his first, he said it had to do with the exclusion of LGBT marchers. But this year, St. Patrick's Day, seeing the error of its ways and wanting everybody to enjoy the day, did include, for the first time ever, making history, an LGBT marching group. And yet the mayor didn't show up. Eddie, how do we explain this to the people in the country? Why is the mayor not taking opportunities to mend fences? Good evening to you.
I think that they showed a lot of hostility to them, and I think that he probably doesn't want to, and I think he wants to be just, the way he sees it, just as strong towards them as they were towards him. I think the part that I find offensive, he was late for Mass. I don't know. It just bothers me.
But he's late for everything, Eddie. That's just par for the course.
Yeah, I know he is late for everything, but you particularly shouldn't be late for Mass.
Ed, there's time here. He has advisors. We want the mayor to be successful. We understand it's a Democratic town. We understand that the teachers union is going to make major decisions in his future. But there are other unions here. The NYPD has a union. The firemen have a union. Everybody has a union. That's the puzzle, Ed, how to understand. Mary, do you have an explanation for why de Blasio is missing chances to repair things?
I think he's an ideologue. He doesn't want to mend fences with these guys. He doesn't like them, as Eddie says. He was elected with a very, 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 very small minority of New Yorkers, and he's going to pursue his agenda as hard as he can while he still has the office. Eddie, do you disagree?
No, I agree with you 100%.
There we go,
John. I think
John.
the only way he gets reelected is in his mind to act just like this, and he may be right. He's looking for another very low turnout election, not a strong candidate against him. Remember, the Democratic primary is very heavily influenced by this kind of constituency, and he figures if he wins the primary, he'll win the mayor again.
The election is in 2017, so it's after the next presidential election. And let's move to presidential election. We have a major politician in New York who is mentioned all the time, Mrs. Clinton, but we're not stopping in Westchester, although Westchester is the residence of the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo. Suddenly, Governor Cuomo's in trouble. He's in trouble with the teachers union. His polls are sagging. He's just been reelected. His second term, his father served 3 terms. This is a very successful family. His children are Kennedys. He was married to a Kennedy prior to his present circumstance. And the governor has every reason to look to a bright political future in the Democratic Party. And yet he's struggling. What's happened here, Eddie?
Well, he's a rough customer, and that does not always help you over the long term. He's a very rough customer. And secondly, I mean, I know him, I like him, but secondly, the business with the Moreland Commission and the deleting emails is almost impossible to tolerate.
Now, Eddie, we have to translate this for listeners who might not know the Moreland Commission.
That was a commission he set up, along with Schneiderman, the Attorney General, to investigate corruption in New York State. And as soon as it started to get close to Sheldon Silver, they shut it down.
And Sheldon Silver is now a resigned and disgraced leader of the Assembly, a very powerful
Very
post,
close to Cuomo.
a man who is alleged to have, well, the allegation is innocent until proven guilty, that he took a whole lot of money for a long time from real estate interests and other lobbies in Albany. And you, Eddie, believe that the governor's present problems are that he has not been able to explain his conduct because of the Moreland Commission?
Yes. That's my long answer.
That's the legal answer.
But there's no.
If you want my long answer, it's almost certainly libel.
Not suitable for radio.
But there's no evidence right now tying the governor.
Let's also just pull the string here. Eddie referenced email. Governor Cuomo put a policy in place where government employees now do not save email past, what is it, Eddie, 90 days?
60 days.
60, 90 days, something like that? Right. So it's...
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Echoes of Hillary here, right?
Right.
Well, with the email chain. So Governor Cuomo now suddenly has difficulties that are... Eddie, would it be fair to say that these are the remains of the Silver scandal? That's what we're looking at here. Silver was the moment when we knew that something had gone wrong for Governor Cuomo in Albany.
Well, we don't... The remains of the Silver scandal are perhaps still to come, which is whether or not he's going to give the government information.
Eddie, why doesn't this guy push for reform? He was a school reformer. He was going to cut taxes. He was going to do something for New York. That all seems to have disappeared.
Yeah. Okay.
What about Schneiderman, Eddie? Just 20 seconds here. Schneiderman hurt by this?
Remember how you had Cahill appear?
Yeah. Attorney General, right.
And he commented on Schneiderman and so forth. And after the elections, when they shut down the Moreland Commission, Schneider was the chief law enforcement individual in the state. He was disgraceful. A number of the people on the Moreland Commission were his appointees. That was disgraceful.
There's trouble in New York on the Democratic positions. No Republicans going to challenge them. Only Democrats can solve this. Ed Hayes, Mary Kissel, I'm John Batchelor.